Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We got our boy Adey. How you doing, my
What's
man?
up? I'm good, man. I'm good. What's up, bro?
I'm very well, very happy to have you today.
Thank you. Thank you so
Um,
much.
yeah, and for people that don't know this, the music collection is finally going to be live next week. Ooh. So we get the first 10 songs of the collection, revealed to the ugly community, to the ugly holders. And yeah, I just want you to tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Adey. I'm a producer, singer, songwriter, engineer. Um, I've got a degree in acoustics engineering with physics, and I've been producing music for about 15 years now. And I love it. Like it's my full-time job. I love production, and yeah, it's one of the my most favorite things to do in the world, man. So I was definitely excited about the possibility of working on an NFT, music related NFT. And who better than Ugly Bros, bro? Like, come on, like,
Boy.
So I am mad excited. We've been working on this now for about 2 3 months now,
Yes.
and the art is fire, the music is fire, and it's possibly one of the best investments that you can make right now because of the utility you know we have so many things planned for this collection, and we're just hoping that you guys key into this is a big deal.
Yeah, and I mean it's something special, right? Because not everybody gives their music away.
Yeah, yeah, everyone kind of holds on to like the copyright and the royalties of the music. And in this particular case, whoever wins the auction gets the copyright. The music belongs to you. You can decide tomorrow that you want to go to the studio and sing on that song and publish it to Apple Music and publish it to Spotify and wherever. And no one's going to come after you because you own the license. You own the rights. It's yours. It's literally yours to have.
Yeah, and they're mixed and mastered by yours
Yeah,
truly.
yeah, it's all mixed, it's all mastered, it's all studio ready. And if you decide that, hey, I'm not really the best singer in the world or whatever, you can give it to an artist that you have, or you can sell it to an artist that you have. The thing about music is that you know possibilities come from every single direction, no matter who you are and where you are in your professional career as a producer or a musician. You could literally be sitting down somewhere and you get a phone call that X, Y, and Z artist has decided that this is beat that they want to use. And I've seen it happen like so many times, like to friends of mine, to people I've worked with. And it's one of those things that it's very interesting about the music industry because it doesn't matter who you are, or your background or how much experience you have, the opportunity can literally present itself in front of you. Now, the question is, are you ready to take that opportunity or are you not? So that's one of the craziest things about music that I love. And this collection allows people who wouldn't necessarily have maybe the skill set to make like a complete instrumental to have that with none of the drama, messing with no producers in the studio. Producers are very, very difficult to work with. I'm a producer, I know. You're not messing with any studio time or any engineers or nothing. This is just yours to have, which is cool.
And the big thing is I'm a musician, and
Yeah.
I do music for my collection.
Hmm.
However, I have a specific style. You
Yeah.
have a specific style. That's what drove me so much to you when we kind of started negotiating and reaching out. It was
Mm.
your style of music. I think a bombo is amazing. Cigarettes,
Yeah.
and getting that vibe. Like I think you specialize in your art. So for people that don't know this, like tell them a little bit about like the Afrobeats, because that's where you shine in a lot of different things. Make no
Mm.
doubt about it. But I think
Yeah.
your specialty is in this type of music.
So
Yeah,
what
just tell us
what
about that.
what I've done over the past couple of years. So when I was growing up, like my mom, had a lot of like Carlos Santana, Kenny G, and like really 90s R&B stuff, like all around the house on tapes and on CDs and stuff. And that's the only stuff that I used to be able to listen to. Because bear in mind, this is before like Spotify and this is before Apple Music and YouTube was a thing. So it's just literally whatever you have at home or whatever's on the radio is what you listen to. So all that stuff. When I started making music, well, started to pursue a career in music, that stuff was kind of just rooted in my subconscious. So every time I would make something, right, and it would come out very R&B-ish or very, Latino or very jazz oriented, because that's the kind of music that I was surrounded by as a kid. Now, at a point in time in my career, right, I'm in Africa, bro. So that kind of music is only for a very niche crowd in Africa. So how do you then take that and merge it with the popular style to create a product that is both new and relatable to the audience? So I spent like 5, 6 years, of early in my career developing this style of kind of like R&B Afro, jazz Afro, Latino Afro. And that's kind of what really helped me stand out in terms of like, this is my particular style. And yeah, man, it's such an amazing thing to be able to grow up on something and turn it into a professional career, using the skill sets that you didn't even know that you had. As a kid, I didn't know how to play guitar, but I picked up guitar like in my early teens, and I could figure out what to do. I was taught on the piano, but these things just, they're ingrained in you as a child, and it's amazing it's fulfilling actually to be able to take those experiences and monetize and turn it into a professional career that you can actually survive on. It's a dope feeling, man. And Afrobeats is kind of like it's a doorway to the soul, and it makes you dance dances that you haven't danced before. It brings out a side of you that like you never knew that you had. But I believe that that primal nature of the music is ingrained in every single one of us as human beings. So when we hear stuff that is heavily percussive, even though we might not understand exactly what is going on with the music, we know that this particular music makes us feel a certain type of way. And I believe that Afrobeats is the root of all modern music today. Everyone's trying to infuse Afrobeats into their music. Ed Sheeran's doing that, Adele's doing that, Drake's doing that. Even the dancehall artists are now doing the Afrobeats thing as well, because it unlocks that you know that inner primal feeling that you might have as a human being, and makes you feel like you can do anything, even though you don't understand what's going on in the music half the time. I listen to songs in so many different languages in Africa, and I don't know what they're saying, but I know how the music is making me feel, and it's a common denominator across all genres of Afrobeats coming out of Africa right now, which is why it's the genre of music that I've stuck to for all this time. It's an amazing, amazing. Um, it's the fountain of youth for music to me. That's how I feel about it. So it's dope. It's dope, man.
And you touched upon it where a lot of artists now are using
Yeah,
this
like
style.
everyone's using this, bro. Drake's last two albums, he had Afrobeat infused songs. Come Closer was basically an Afrobeat song. Ed Sheeran's almost if you remember Ed Sheeran from a couple of years ago and Ed Sheeran now, there's a complete tonal shift in the type of music that he's making. And the tonal shift is the Afrobeat undertones under his music that drive that primality, that makes us feel in a certain way, and it helps them hammer their message home even harder in terms of whatever it is they're singing about in the song. And one of the things that you notice is that before you even listen to the lyrics of what the artist is singing about, the songs the song as an entity already captures you to the feeling of what they're trying to convey. It already makes you feel whatever the topic is before they even start singing or before you even start listening to the lyrics. And that's what I credit Afrobeats for doing. You know?
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking, and that's why again when this made sense because I mean we connected, and
Yeah.
then again it's that style because like I can't do that style. That's not, and that's the thing about it. I could do a lot of different styles, but
Hmm.
that style requires something else, and it's an experience, and like
Yeah, it's an experience, bro. Like you have
yeah,
to be able to have experienced Africa, Nigeria,
that's
Ghana,
the beauty about it.
Senegal, South Africa, Cameroon. You have to be able to have experienced those places to be able to make this kind of music, which is why, and it's also funny because you hear a lot of American artists trying to go the Afrobeat route, but they don't have any Afrobeat producers. So even though they have like Grammy winning producers, right?
Yeah.
There's none of them that can encapsulate that feel, that hidden feel of why does this song make me feel in this particular way? And it's because they lack the experience of being in those places or having visited or having worked in those places. So it's no like, I'm not trying to put them down or anything, but you have to experience it to be able to
No.
make it.
But it's also you're a specialist, and that's why I call you a specialist, right? That's why
Yeah,
the whole point of these music collection series is to go after people like you, and that's
yeah,
why when we figured something out, I was like, we have something special here.
yeah.
There's a lot of factors in this, and like before we reveal the collection, you've worked with many artists you cannot reveal because
Hmm.
my boy going to jail. But tell us the one to mention a couple for the people that so they could feel free to look it up and see.
Okay, so I've worked with Wizkid, who is one of the biggest artists in Africa. I've worked with Davido, who is also one of the biggest artists in Africa as well. My boy YC, can never forget him. I got my first gold record with YC. We did a song that went number one worldwide called Juice, and worked with Jordan Lucas. The list is endless, and if I start going into the American people that I've worked with, definitely the SWAT team's gonna come through your window right now. So like,
I know, yeah, and
but
that's
like
something.
the A list guys, I've done a lot of, like, chances are, like, even though you may not like have seen my name in those albums and stuff, the chances are you've listened to something that I've had a hand in making, you know.
And that's how we avoid getting sued.
Yeah,
So
that's
I've been telling people you don't know about Adey, but you've heard of Adey, and
yeah,
people are
yeah,
like,
100%. Like,
and I'm like, motherfucker, what are you trying to tell me? And I'm like, I'm trying to tell you that I can't. There's certain things we can't say
we
because
can't say, yeah, we can't, but it's fine that way, because the people who know.
yeah,
And it gets me more work because I get calls in the middle of the night that, oh,
hundred
yo,
percent,
I need X, Y, and Z done by tomorrow morning. And I'm
hundred
like, all right,
percent.
cool.
Because you're an artist and a producer, but you're also
Yeah.
a songwriter, right? Like, and that's what's
Hmm.
special about it. And like, a lot of people when they've heard when I put the thread up in the Discord and they heard the Adey Spotify, same as me, man. I still listen to your stuff, man. Like and it's
uh,
no BS, bro. It's just like
it's dope. I mean, I started off as a singer, right? Even though at that time I didn't really have a singing voice. And then I got more interested in production. And I'll tell you how I learned, actually. So there was this guy in Nigeria, and I met him at the bus stop, and we just connected. He had a laptop, he had a MacBook in his hands, and the area that we were in was a bit rough. So I told him, I said, dude, like, you literally have your most valuable item out in open, and everyone can see it, and someone's gonna take it. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry that he's not from around here, that he was from further north in Nigeria. And I followed him to the studio, and that guy ended up being like my mentor, and he taught me. Yeah, I used to sit in his studio from 8 in the morning till 3 in the morning, like almost every day, just watching. And I saw the greats come through his studio, and I just sat down and watched. And that's how I learned how to make music. And that was the more interesting aspect of the music for me, like the actual creation of the sounds. Like, how do you determine what sound to use? How do you determine what melodies and what keys that you want to operate in? And he basically just taught me how to feel what I want to create. And with the training with him, what then used to happen was that I could compose the entirety of the song in my head. And the training that you do is that you need to be able to translate what is in your head exactly to your DAW, right? You're gonna the DAW is your Logic or FL Studio, Ableton or Reason or whatever DAW you're using. But that's where the experience comes in. Like, you need to be able to say, I have this amazing composition in my head. I know exactly how it sounds. And then the experience is what is going to allow you to translate that from your head to actual music that you can listen to.
yeah. And
So
for people that don't know this, I I think I'm going to be 20 years as a musician
It's
in
crazy.
one more year. And it's a thing, right? Like, when people do music, like you suck the first couple of years.
Yeah, no, dude. Like for the first 5 years, you're absolute ass, bro. Like,
You just
yeah,
get wrecked. You just
yeah,
get
yeah. You get wrecked by more experienced artists, more experienced
yeah.
producers, and you're always wondering what it is you're doing wrong. But then over time, like you begin to get a feel and a grasp on what you like. And I feel that it's very important that you don't chase shadows. Like you don't chase people that do something better than you, right? You're going to find what you like and focus on what you like. And over time, you become an expert at what you like. And there's always going to be somebody that wants to buy into what you like.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that you have to drill in the back of your head, because people always think that if they make what's popular, that they will pop. And that's not the case. Like or maybe on a short-term basis, because we always see producers and musicians come and go in 2 or 3 years time. But if you want to survive making music, you have to be able to be honest with yourself and say, this is exactly what I like, and I want to work on what I like. I'm not going to work on stuff that I don't like to do, because then I can never put my heart and soul into that particular project.
Yeah. It's something
And it's obvious. It
powerful work.
shows.
Yeah.
It shows when someone's heart and soul is not into the work that they're doing. It's obvious, and it's especially in a situation that involves music, which is supposed to convey emotion and feel. And if your heart and soul is not there, how do you fake emotion and feel? You can't. It's not possible.
Yeah. And it's time, right? It's just like, and I understand that now, it
Yeah.
takes time.
It takes time, bro. It
A lot
takes
of
a
people
long,
takes
long
time.
time. Like, don't be you never you're not supposed to beat yourself up over it. But like, obviously, you want to be the best, and when you're younger, you want to be the best at everything. But it doesn't just happen overnight.
No, it doesn't. It's a
It
lot of
doesn't.
work.
It's a
Um,
lot of work,
which
bro.
leads us to this beautiful moment where
Mm,
Ugly Bros and 80 collaboration music collection,
it's
20
done.
tracks, 20 NFTs,
It's
and
done.
it's done. And it's something
Yeah.
we've been going back and forth while the Christmas collection was happening. We've been going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out to a lot of people, and let's display it first. Let's do the art, which again, Daniel always looking up.
Dan is crazy, bro. Like,
Love what he was able to do because
yeah.
like the idea was, okay, if we're gonna do the music, like I find in the NFT world, um, there are artists selling their music. Don't get me wrong, and
Mm-hmm.
it's their music. But if we're in a really decentralized form of way,
Mm-hmm.
the message for us was to get musicians, like for example, like you, and
Mm-hmm.
get you on board, and then and have a feel recreating music with picture. And this is why this collection is based on you, right?
Yeah.
It's in a way, if you like the NFT, great. If you like the music, great. And that's why we're giving both, and that's why you're talking about value, and that's where the value is.
Yeah.
Very unique collection.
Yo, I don't know how Dan managed to get my hair, but yo, that the hair stuff, yo, that is
Yeah, the hair was pretty cool.
because that's actually my mom's favorite part of the NFTs as
Oh
well.
yeah.
Yeah, she loves the hair. She's like,
It's
how
so
did he get
it's
the
so
hair?
funny. A lot of people love this one. It's like, why you like it? It's like, is it the smoke? Is it the hate? Wink, wink? But it's just, yeah, it's just cool. Like, and Daniel was able to kind of listen to the music. It wasn't something that Daniel was like, I'm gonna grab the, I'm just gonna do a bunch of things. No, Daniel
Mm,
vibe to the music, got a sensation. Um,
this is my favorite one by far.
this one,
Yeah,
yeah, there's something about this one, eh?
yeah. I don't know what it is. Like,
Yeah, the colors are
yeah,
amazing.
I think it's the colors, the whole pastel feel. Like, this is definitely my favorite one.
Yeah,
Like,
the
I
color.
obviously don't want to have favorites in the collection but that one is just
Yeah,
is just
yeah, I like them all. Like I like this one. That's why we were able to pair up there's a song that's gonna go with this one that
yeah.
has the
And I
vibe.
I know the song. I know the
Yeah, you
song.
know the song. It's your poppy. That's the only poppy stuff. But it's
Yeah,
also like synth wave, Afrobeat wave. Oh, this one.
this one
This is
this
the
one is dope
style
as
that
well.
Dan. Yeah, I didn't expect this. Eh? Like and that's the thing about it because yours is gonna have the last variations from
Mm,
season one.
yeah.
um from I call it generation one now, but it has that
Hmm.
vibe. And so when we were making them, it was, how do we make it different? So for
Yeah.
example, here also you have the zombie where there's some dirt.
Dirt on his face, yeah.
It's cool. And this one, a lot of people love this one.
Yeah, this one is also crazy as well. I
You know?
definitely wasn't expecting when I saw the collection, I definitely wasn't expecting the skeleton one, but it definitely works for me.
And then Spacesuit Madden.
The
And
spacesuit is a must, always a must, bro.
and
Always need to have that spacesuit.
and because they're 3D, they're metaverse
Metaverse ready.
compatible, metaverse compatible. That
Hell
that's
yeah.
a that's the new thing now. You say it's metaverse
Metaverse
compatible
compatible. Yep.
when X metaverse allows it to kind of,
Whenever we have any sort of metaverse that actually
yeah,
exists beyond just having land, and sure,
yeah, because it's 3D, they're already made, and we have those files,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
we'll be able to do something special.
That's
And
dope, man.
yeah, the art was like the illustrations were great. But what I want to do, like I'll play 10 seconds of each track,
Sure.
and then what I'll probably ask you, just like, what do you feel of that track? Like, because every
Mm.
track vibes differently.
Yeah, they all vibe
The
different.
vibe. Yeah, so we'll play 10 seconds, and then I'll give you the space.
All right.
Just put and again, these songs are listed for us to remember. That's why you got Belly Dancer, Bob Auntie. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, these songs are nameless, and
Mm.
it's the NFT holder decides what they're going to do with it
To
and
do,
what
yeah.
name is it, right?
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important to kind of say this, that if you own the NFT, great, that song is yours with the actual NFT itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you sell it to somebody else, which you can 100%,
Mm-hmm.
you're giving away the rights to use the music.
Yeah,
And that's
100%.
where we, at the end of the day, it's your music, but we have creative control up to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep the music and sell the NFT, and then there's something, so we could potentially do something about it. And I just making it transparent, because a lot of people don't understand, like, oh, what happens if I've already used it? And
Mm.
I'm like, well, take it out of circulation, like,
Yeah.
do it for yourself, right? Because
Yeah.
eventually somebody, we're going to get into that drama. And
Yeah, the drama would it would definitely happen if you
yeah,
try to do something funny with it, you know.
yeah, and it's like, and that's more your side, that you've seen a lot of musicians do that. And
Yeah, bro. It's no shortage of
yeah,
musicians that think they're smarter and they can game the system, but
yeah,
it's not like, I'll tell you now, as someone who has been gamed by the system, and someone who people like they've tried to do the same thing with me, it's never worth it in the end. You always, as the person who is in the wrong, you always lose, like all the time. You know,
yeah,
there's no situation you're gonna come out better if you try and game that system.
yeah.
No way.
And it's not, because if you've already collected royalties in let's say Spotify, like that,
Yeah.
it's you're just tracked now, right? And
Yeah.
that's why I feel the need to like talk about it, because it's very important to bring that into it, because
100%. Yeah.
you own the NFT, and if you register it, okay, well, that's your song now.
Yeah, it is your song,
Very
and
careful about,
you have to be careful. Like when you step into music publishing,
and
you need to be very very careful, and you understand that when you've done that, you're stepping out of our world into
into like,
music business,
yeah, because
and you need to be careful how you do it. You know.
yeah, and it's just simple to say, if you buy the song and you want to keep it for yourself, great.
Mm,
You like, if it's a hit, it's a hit, but it's
yeah,
just selling it to somebody else after you've already published it,
you
and
publish it is a big
that's where
problem.
the
Yeah.
issue is. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
where the issue is. And yeah, but let's
And there will be no tech support if you do that. There will be no tech
not for
support.
me.
I'm not gonna support
Not
you, and
for
I'm
me.
sure
Yeah,
Sherry's not gonna
we shouldn't
support you
do
as
that.
well.
Yeah. Let's we'll play the first 10 seconds of each song, and then I just want you to give me a vibe of what you felt, what anything special about the song. So let's
Okay, let's go.
three. Ooh, that's sexy.
Seti Elliott. So Seti Elliott is it's like it's what I would imagine if Missy Elliott and Timbaland did an Afrobeats record in 2021.
Oh shit.
That's kind of like my interpretation, because obviously I also listen to a lot of Timbaland in like my teenage years and stuff, and that's kind of like my interpretation. And it's more of like have you heard what's the name of this Missy Elliott song with Janet Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to invoke that spooky Timberland vibe that, Timberland was notorious for giving, like Nelly Furtado, Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson, Missy Elliott, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, the
ah,
I'm
dun,
bringing
dun,
sex
dun.
and
Yeah,
fire. Because it does
yeah,
have that and that's something very very strong, and that's why I love to do these, because there's nothing more powerful than when artists talk about their music
the music,
and
yeah,
the
true.
feeling behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank God we did this. Let's go and do a backup.
Mm-hmm. So backup is like, if you imagine like someone who is a busker, right? So a busker is someone who plays in like bus stations, on the road, and train stations and stuff, right? So he would have like a box on the floor and his guitar, and that's all he would have in terms of instruments. And imagine someone like that getting heartbroken, right? I believe that this is the kind of song that he would make and sing at that bus station,
And that's
because
what
the drums are simple, just to invoke that feeling of, he's just like literally just kicking on the floor and tapping the box or tapping the strings of the guitar while playing the guitar. And it's like a busker that's brokenhearted, basically. That's the vibe that song gives me, and that's what I was going for in terms of like creative design on that song.
yeah, because it's not a happy song, but it
No,
has
no, no, it's definitely not a happy song.
that vibe-ish, which is very,
Yeah.
which is good. Let's now do belly dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're only showing the first 10 seconds.
Seconds, yeah. So
Yeah.
belly dancer is, I try to imagine belly dancer as if someone like Carlos Santana was born in Lagos, Nigeria. Like what kind of music would he make? And it gives me that vibe of what's the name of the song? Him and Maria. It gives me the vibe of Maria. Maria, and
Maria.
yeah, that one, yeah. And putting the Afrobeats elements into it, making it a bit faster. Like, how would he feel if he was surrounded by all this percussive music? What would he do with his guitar? And that's the Latino belly dancer in Lagos, Nigeria. That's what that one gives
That's pretty cool.
me. Yeah,
'Cause I love Carlos Santana. He's
he's amazing, bro.
and then that's what I've learned personally. It's just like, how could you communicate with the guitar? Like, is
Yeah,
and it's hard. Like a lot of and it's
it's
not about the
difficult.
shredding. It's not.
No, no, no. It's not. It's not. It's not about the shredding. And we have, the funny thing is, we have an instrument like in Nigeria. It's called a talking drum. And the talking drum is it's so funny. Every time I try and explain this to like my white friends, they have no idea what I'm talking about, right? And I'm like, this drum can actually speak a language. So the drum's percussive tones form an entire language on its own, and people talk to each other with the drum. And it's the language of percussive African music. It's an amazing thing. You should definitely, if you don't know what a talking drum is, just put it in your YouTube, Google it, and just check it out.
Good, amazing. Let's get into Bob Auntie.
Mm-hmm. Bob Auntie is it's like almost like a Michael Jackson Afrobeats type record. It gives me Thriller vibes, but more on the minor side of Thriller than on the major stuff that they did towards the middle of the song. It's giving me those like spooky but danceable and spiritual vibes. That's kind of what I felt when I was making it. I think it shows.
It has those vibes. And for people
Mm-hmm.
that don't know, it's like we're doing 10-second clips here, but in
Mm-hmm.
the YouTube, and before you get a chance, there's just going to be more 15 to 30 seconds, so you can get a little bit more of the vibe of the
More of a
song.
feel, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do Federales.
Federalis, yeah.
Adey, turn up the volume.
Again, Carlos Santana. I have to call Carlos Santana again. And this is like if if Carlos Santana was to do like a trap song with like Migos, I think because Carlos has done stuff with Wyclef with a lot of other hip hop, but like early hip hop artists. And I'm just trying to reimagine if they were to do something in the now, So that's the vibe it gives me. That's why I called it Federalis.
Really nice. Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's enter now into funk hip hop. Oh yeah.
So that's also one of my favorites. It's giving me Mac Miller, early Mac Miller vibes. And again, Mac Miller reinterpreted almost as Afro beats, with the percussive claps, but that, organ thing, I can't remember what it's called, gives you that old school hip hop vibe that you can easily you could write like 64 bars on this kind of record and just keep going and going and going with no hook, and it would sound amazing just based on that feel.
Yeah. It has
And
it.
Asher Roth as well. It gives me that Asher Roth. I don't know if you know Asher Roth.
Yeah, I know Ashura.
Yeah, so it gives me that Asher Roth vibe as well, like that I love college kind of vibe. That vibe is exactly what it gives me. So,
It's a great vibe.
mhm.
Let's do haunted, ugly.
All right, so Haunted Ugly, it's like I think this was one of the first ones I started working on, and it was around Halloween time. And I just wanted to give that spooky haunted house vibe, and but on a more rappable type bass. So it has the trap elements in there that give it that hip hop feel, but still remaining like spooky and haunted. You know.
It's very different though than all the other ones. Let's
Mm-hmm.
do sunset, ugly. Mm.
All right, so this as well is also again Santana, giving me the Santana vibes with the bass, and there's some guitars and horns in there as well. But it's like an Afro-Cuban type record because in Cuba there's a lot of Yoruba people, which is where I'm from in Nigeria. But for some reason there are a lot of Yoruba people in Cuba that live and were born in Cuba as well. So this is kind of a mishmash of two cultures. We have a rich history together, and I wanted to honor that with this kind of music.
Yeah, Cuba. I have a lot of Cuban friends back in Miami.
Yeah,
And,
dope.
yeah, música cubana is very different. Very different. Oh, it is. It is. It is.
Yeah.
Let's do synthwave ugly, which is the one that's a bit more different than others.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I've always wanted to make a synthwave record. Ever since like I listened to Take On Me and a couple of other stuff. And I noticed that in early 90s anime, they seem to really work well with synthwave music. The visuals seem to work very, very well with synthwave music. So this is something new that I tried and I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it works so perfectly well. And it gives me bubblegum popcorn vibes, and I love it so much. It's probably one of the best. No, it's probably one of the best beats that I've made in a long time. Like it makes me feel very, very good. You
Yeah,
know,
it's also happy. It's also a
it's
feel.
happy, bro. It's happy go lucky vibe, and we've already heard some couple demos to this. Like in the Discord, someone did a demo on the preview,
Yeah,
and it's
I got.
yeah,
I'll upload that too.
yeah. That sounded really dope. I really liked it. You know.
Let's enter into the UB1.
So that is very representative of a music artist that we had in Nigeria called Fela Nipolako Kuti. So he was the pioneer of Afrobeats, spiritual juju music, and they were very, very big on horns and sax. And all his kids are musicians, and all their kids are musicians. So this was kind of done to honor their legacy. It's pure Afrobeats.
Love it. Love it. Because it does give me a different vibe as well. Like this one.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one's really nice as well. We have the soca Latino vibe again. You know, I want to honor my Latino homies, and I want to mishmash our cultures together, and make something that can be played in those kind of places, and something that they will love, something that my people will love, and something that everyone can love. But I feel that that soca vibe is so good. I love how it makes me feel, especially when I watch like carnivals and go to carnivals and stuff. Like I love how that soca vibe makes me feel. So I wanted to make something like that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool. Um, and you worked on it a little bit more, eh? It was like it sounded hot now. It's like,
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn.
It's definitely very different from the first one that I sent you. Yep.
Yeah,
But it's still the same song.
yeah. And the people don't know you mix and master it, so
Yeah. So
it,
it's
it,
ready. It's studio
yeah,
ready.
it's already ready. But it's also you don't do what a lot of people do that they just up the volume. You
No,
know,
no, 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 no. We don't do that. We
there's
don't
like
do that here.
parallel
We
compression.
have, yeah, we have the Larson mixing console. I have Ozone running through it as well. I have so many different things running through them to make sure that those limits, the peaks are not like harsh and they're not here, but the song is hitting wherever you're playing the song.
I love it. I love it. Let's get into yeah.
So this is kind of it's a genre of music called Amapiano. It originates from South Africa. And it's very, very, the songs are long. You have like 15, 20-minute songs like from that particular genre. But I've done I've kind of infused it a bit more with more of Afro beats, to translate it properly in ways that I can understand and everyone else can understand. And this is the product. It makes me feel alive. I love it.
That's beautiful. It's, strong. Well, it's just different, right? And that's why a
Yeah, and
lot
it's
of
different.
like your typical American, or how do you say this without
Without all
trying
right,
to
go
choose
on.
my words correctly?
All right,
Um,
all right.
no, but it's just I've never grabbed that style, right? Like
Mm,
typically an American producer, if you're not from the roots, you
mm. You can't do
maybe
it.
you study it and like you
Yeah.
know this because there's certain musicians that go through education channels where it is, but it's also living it.
No, there's no, I don't think there's any amount of studying that you can do
No,
to grasp the creative process behind making African music. You need to wake up in Africa, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in South Africa. You need to wake up in any of these places and experience what life is like there. Then you can understand why the music sounds the way it does. You
exactly.
can't read it in a book. It's like reading about, like, you watch videos on I can't remember what they're called, like tacos, right? The bria tacos, right? The ones that you dip in the. I've watched those videos so many times. I know it's gonna taste good. I'm sure I can make it, but I'm not gonna be able to experience it until I go to where they're
Exactly.
making that stuff. Yeah, and that's why I want the authentic experience. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think they can just read about Afrobeats and then make it. No, you can't.
And that's why I was like, let me choose my words correctly.
Yeah, no, no, for sure.
Something no, because it's something that you could imitate a lot of styles, but there's certain things where it's just like it's very different.
Yeah, it's not something you can just pick up.
No, let's go to the next one. I think it. Let me see. Wait a minute. Oh yeah.
I really like that one as well. That one's giving me like a poppy beach feel, like on the beach of Maldives. Just you've made all the money in the world and you're just kind of just chilling there. Yeah. You're just chilling with your girl and you're just, I don't know, you're just enjoying yourself and having like a relaxing time and nothing is bothering you, you know.
Let's enter into the next one.
this one is kind of the opposite of the other one. So this is kind of like you and your girl are having some issues, and you're not really sure where it's headed, and you're trying to sing about it and make some sense of the situation, but you also want to dance at the same time. So you could, that one's perfect for that kind of scenario. That's kind of like the vibe that I was putting into that one.
I love it. Love them. Damn. Let's go into the UB6. Ooh, powerful.
Right. So that's giving me the dance hall, the dance hall vibe, the pure dance hall vibe with just a tiny bit of Afro in there. You don't know which one of our ugly bros is trying to be a dancehall artist, so that one is perfect for you. So
There you go. There you go. Let's do the UB7.
so that is definitely inspired very heavily by Bad Bunny, but it's giving what I was trying to do was trying to create like an R&B soca vibe that has a crazy switch up in the middle and just goes into something nasty and then calms down again. It's suit and tie soca, that kind of vibe, like mafia soca, but still chill, R&B-ish. I love it.
Nice. We'll enter down to UB8. It has a little more mellow.
Yeah, that's like Afro pop. So that is more like Afro emo pop type vibes. Oh, why did she
Oh,
leave
that's
me?
yeah, the emo for emotional.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's Afro emo type. Oh, why did she leave me? I'm doing better now. That blah blah blah. That kind of vibe. That's what
Get
that
this
was giving.
NFT money, baby. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's pretty cool. Let's do welcome my well, you know how it is sometimes in
Yeah,
NFT
dude, it's
game, bro.
crazy. It's crazy.
You land the right legendary
True.
rarity and you're good. You're set.
And
You're
you're
set
good.
for the month. You're set for the month. Let's do welcome.
So this is it's like street, what they call street music, right? It's usually very fast paced. It's almost like house, but it has very like aggressive percussive instruments and aggressive bass. But it's kind of the music that they play on the streets in Nigeria. Like, and I'm talking about literal streets, not I'm not using an idiom for it. I'm saying on the streets, this is the kind of music that they play, and it translates well to any type of genre that you want to sing on. You could sing R&B stuff on this. You can rap like straight up bars on this as well if you want to. But it's definitely Nigerian street music.
Oh, I love it. There is a the heart rates. The heart
Yeah,
rate.
it's pumping.
Let's do YP2. Yeah, that one's powerful, man.
I love that one as well. That one conveys emotion very, very well. And it's Afro as well. It has the Afro swing. It's like Afro swing music, but it has all the rising horns, there was the swelling horns, and guitars and bass, and the snare is hitting. It makes me emotional. Actually, that one makes me very emotional. I
Cool.
love it so much.
Very cool.
Hmm.
And then the last one, where sometimes I mispronounce it as Zlatan.
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 Yeah,
Zlatan.
so Zlatan. So he's okay. Yeah, just play it, then I'll
Share
tell
first,
you
and
about.
then we could talk about it.
Adey, turn up the volume.
So Zlatan is, for me, one of the biggest Nigerian street musicians. And he popularized this for me. I know I'm gonna get flamed for it, but for me, he popularized this type of music, this style of music. So this is just something to honor him in terms of like his legacy, and he's an artist that I look up to as well. So I wanted to make something in the vein of what he might do, and it is also it gets your heart rate pumping. Like it's one of them ones that gets your heart rate pumping as well, and I love how it does that, to people, you know.
And that's, you see, that's what you say, like everybody's subjected to like who sometimes they look up to. And
Yeah, for sure.
right.
I met him. I think I met him once or twice, but I've listened to his music for like the past like 6 years, and I definitely believe that he was one of the people instrumental in keeping or bringing this type of sound to people like me. And for that, I decided to honor him with this in my collection and make something in the vein of what he might do.
It's amazing.
Hmm.
And in the vein of it, we are done with the music collection series.
Yeah.
We're doing this video so just to kind of get a better understanding of what each song meant, right?
Mm.
A little bit about you, a little bit about the collection. And basically next steps are we will be having on Wednesday a Twitter space.
Hmm.
And people will talk a little bit more. People will be able to kind of go in and talk a little bit, like ask questions if they have it, like,
Sure.
because like it's just deep. It's just, and also like music copyright questions, music,
Yeah.
and all this stuff. Like we're gonna be here for that. So that's gonna be Wednesday at around 5 p.m. Eastern time. It's
Okay.
typically, we run the space ugly and family, and it'll
Mm.
be featured with another project, and then us, ugly
And
and Adey.
don't be shy to ask any sort of questions that you might have in terms of if you don't understand how the legality of what we're doing. I'm more than happy to explain any sort of thing when you talk about like transferring of copyrights and stuff.
Yeah,
And I'm sure you are as well. So we're open to all sorts of questions, really, I think. And yeah, I'm prepared, more than prepared to answer anything. So just don't be shy about asking. Just ask, and I'll answer.
yeah, definitely. And this wraps it up, and something very unique, and it's something where, with the system we use for seasons, right?
Hmm.
This is why this, and season one, season two, they're very different than this, because this is
Yeah.
not, it's not randomizing, right? That's why
No, it's not.
we're still figuring out what exactly, like what is, if there's going to be a reserve, what is the price, the pricing starts at. We will have that answer literally like a day before the auction.
Hmm.
And basically, yeah, you know what, it's going to be very interesting to see. And
I think so too.
and the most important thing is your music once you own it, and we're looking forward everybody's feedback.
Can we say we're the first in the world? Because I think we
We're
are
the
to
first in the
do
world,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
to make a
I
collaboration.
think I think we are to like this transfer of copyright and collaboration and non-generated. We're the first in the world at a lot of things with this collection. So I think it's something that people need to be excited about and happy to be part of. Like, and I wanted to shout out like the ugly community as well. You guys have been fantastic. You've been great. Even though I missed out on season one mints, but we're not going to talk about that.
Go, bring it
you
up.
know so I'm excited about this, and obviously excited about this collab. So I'm really happy we're doing this, and I'm happy we're done. Oh
Yeah,
my
we're
god.
done. And now we get to see the fruits. Um, Somebody else enjoy them, and that's what we're looking forward to. And
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, thank you so much for joining me today.
no worries,
And
bro.
you have a great day, my brother.
You too, man.
Later, peace.
GG's.